serving Ugandans in Canada. We shall continue doing it in our best ability. Ugandans in Canada, we are here to serve you regardless of what you are or where you belong. But provided you are Ugandan, this embassy is here to serve you, and I will continue doing that with my team, encouraging Ugandans who want to do business in Canada and Canadians who would want to go to Uganda and invest, to go and invest and build our economy. We shall ensure that we maintain the good bilateral relationship that exists between Uganda and Canada. Thank you so much, His Excellency, the President, for this appointment.
I thank the President of Uganda, His Excellency, the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for putting trust in her for more years. Anyway, that aside, I want to call everyone for what is going on in Canada for next year, 2020, July 10th, July 8th to 10th. We are having the first NRM chapter in Canada. For the first time, we are opening a NRM chapter in Canada. We will be doing this at Niagara Falls, the border of US and Canada. The falls has a lot of beautiful things, zip lining, chopper, and all other things. But on part of that, why we are doing this chapter is opening this chapter. We want to get closer the NRM.
Leaders in Karamoja sub-region have been urged to stop interfering with an exercise to identify animals in the region. According to the 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Balikudembe, many leaders have interfered with the exercise to recover stolen animals.
In the last months, insecurity rose among the Pian of Nabirituk and Nakapiripit and Pokot from Amudat districts due to increased cattle raids. Uganda People's Defense Forces and Police Anti-Stock Theft Unit met leaders from the 3 districts. Attendants at the meeting were concerned about the absence of top Amudat district leadership.
Sometimes we are getting the pressure from the Pokot side. They are pushing our cows by the means towards our country. And we really wanted to come, and the reason we came here was to beg. Unfortunately, we don't have a Pokot again to beg. They are not here. We only have our brothers from Loro.
The absence of chairpersons and councillors from Amudat is not really acceptable. We must meet. If we are to get the cows that had been stolen from either side, we must sit down and meet.
Asked Karimijong to stop covering up criminals.
Say, we call a thief, and not Kimukoye Kile, if we need peace.
I want you to be brave and start reporting the issues of criminality in your villages.
The 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Balikudembe, warned leaders who interfere with the recovery of stolen animals.
Has come, have impounded the cows. No. You will not impound our cows. How are we going to recover the stolen animals as UPDF? The cows have entered in a Kosike village. We have impounded to call people to identify. No. Some leaders are saying you can't impound the cows.
Balikudembe ordered all impounded animals in detaches to be released in 2 weeks.
Cows in the detaches, within 1 month or 2 weeks' time, you must clear the what? The detaches. Where you see that there is a complaint by the leadership, that they don't want to listen to the other, you hand over the cows to those ones who were victims.
Leaders and division commanders say Kosike sub-county in Nabiritok district is a hotspot for criminals.
Majorly where our cows end. And they connect to Napak. And these are people who have been making us fight with our brothers of Nabilatuk Town Council, Nabilatuk Sub-County, even Akuyam.
The care has become a problem, crossing to Katapi, crossing to Kweni, crossing to everywhere, like the GA of Kotido. They are raiding everywhere.
The meeting resolved to meet with Amdat leadership in their district.
And in Mbale, city leaders have blocked Ugandan National Bureau of Standards from carrying out operations in the area. This followed an operation by UNBS officials from Kampala, headed by Eastern Regional Manager Gaston Chironde, over the alleged non-substandard waraji in Musota Ward. Let's take a look.
UNBS team from Kampala, led by the Eastern Region Manager Gaston Chironde, were denied access to Musoto Ward Industrial Division in Mbale City. The UNBS team had come to carry out its routine of trashing substandard waraji on the market. However, the team managed to forcefully access the area with the help of the police. On receiving instructions to stop the exercise, distillers insisted on speaking their mother tongue, indicating that they were not understanding the orders. The exercise, however, went on at all the distilling points. The region manager, UNBS Chironde, ordered the meeting to be put on a halt and the goods to be loaded on the truck. UNBS Communications Officer Victoria Namtebi says they are trying to remove substandard products on the market.
And then there's those that are uncertified by UNBS, so we've also seized those. And then there's those that illegally have the Q mark. They illegally bear the Q mark, but they are not in the UNBS system. That means that the Q mark is a duplicate.
More than 6,000 liters of waraji and some locally made products on market were taken away. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
And with that, we take a quick break. We return with more details. This is Lunchtime News.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Seku points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Seku points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Seku points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Seku points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations, Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs.
Tadio star 185 tachulo rigo TV for a month. After 2 days, the Airtel the binojo goran simu sana winning 100,000.
The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. And now in business news, digital financial institutions are appealing to government to expand the sector penetration by amending the restrictive policies on digital financial transfers. The CEO, He People initiative that Innocent Kawoya was awarding exceptional corporate companies for their contribution on digital and financial inclusion in the year 2021 at Mastel Hotel, Kampala.
The penetration of digital financial services in rural areas in Uganda is often challenged by limited digital and financial infrastructure coverage. This, coupled with tight restrictions on money transfers, hinders a big population from embracing new financial technologies.
Bank of Uganda is saying, let's stop checks of over 10 million being transferred. Those are all things that only a government can do. And those are things that push penetration, because if I cannot transfer money over 10 million, then I have to say, okay, let me look at the alternatives.
There is a need to design special relevant product offerings for women, youth, refugees, and vulnerable segments to enhance financial inclusion.
But those banks are requiring collateral, the same problem. So we're going to be in the same space, still not helping the poorest, still not helping the women, still not helping the young people who do not have collateral. And that's the biggest part of our economy. More than 70% of Ugandans are below the age of 35.
In 2021, outstanding financial institutions, which are performed exceptionally in innovating special technologies to include all classes of people in money economy, have been appreciated.
By stretching or the number of transactions that the customer then makes in a way that it then subsidizes the cost associated with that acquisition and building the payments and building the transaction. So I think that's quite important, because
to incentivize the public to adopt smart banking, there is a need for favorable and easy to understand innovations for quick adaptation.
Players like us who are private in nature that understand these particular needs, that can build products that support this kind of ecosystem.
Because e-money to work, it has to be backed. For every e-shilling, there has to be an actual shilling in Ugandan shilling in a bank or one institution of one kind or the other. So that can only be done by a government.
These corporate companies got awards from disciplines of digital banking, innovation, fintech innovations, among others. Government entities like National Water and Sewage Corporation and Uganda Revenue Authority also received awards for outstanding digital services. Abdul Nasele Lobwama, UBC News.
Like other fathers across Uganda, I'm standing up to say no to violence against children. I commit to give my children a violence-free childhood. As fathers, we can make Uganda safer for our children. I promise to speak out when I see violence.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Secu points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Secu points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Secu points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your thank you points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Still in business news, after touring the state-of-the-art graphics systems factory in Luzira, the State Minister for Trade, David Bahati, told management that government is committed to solving issues like taxes, cost of electricity that affect manufacturers in Uganda.
I'm saying local registered company, not manufacturer. So they give the order to the local registered company, and the local registered company buys 100% from outside Uganda, and they say that we are following Google. So you have our commitment as government that we will solve the issues that are affecting you, namely electricity. Our commitment, as communicated by the Excellency the President, our target is to have 5 cents for all manufacturers in the next few months. We gave the Minister of Energy 6 months to resolve this, and the bell has been ringing. It is now 2 months to the time that we gave her. We hope that in the next 2 months we should resolve this and have 5 cents for all manufacturing. So I want to encourage you to say that continue focusing on quality, on quantity, enough quantity to meet all our demand, but also focusing on timely service delivery. When people give you orders, please supply them on a timely basis. And by doing that, you grow our business. Because we are in a very competitive world, and therefore you must remain competitive. And the only way you can remain competitive is to have new technologies, be more innovative, and also be a company that also looks at other issues, including gender. I've seen so many women, young people that you are employing, so we are very happy about this.
All right, and tourism and hospitality industry is one of the fundamental pillars to economic prosperity Uganda is developing to attract more players for investment in order to fulfill the country's vision 2040. Tapping into the tourism potential has been with difficulty with frontliners who are the tour guides lacking necessary professional skills and standards to steer the sector. The Tourism and Hospitality Sector Skills Council, together with other stakeholders, have developed the Tourist Guides, Trainers and Assessors standards to equip tour guides.
How shall we determine how much to earn, how much to pay for each guide? How shall we determine how to promote even a waiter to the level of a general manager?
For over 20 years, Uganda's tourism industry has been struggling with poor-skilled tour guides, making it very difficult for the tourist destination companies to deliver the much-needed hospitality to tourists flocking the country.
How do we operate if we don't know the demands of the employers? How? We need to know what the employers want. Where will you have value for money if your guides are not assessed? Where will you have value for money if your guides don't have levels to know this one is a cultural guide level 1, this one is a cultural guide level 3, this one is a bad guide. If I say bad guide, I don't mean BAD, I mean BIRD.
The chairman, Tourism and Hospitality Sector Skills Council, Herbert Byaruhanga, the Directorate of Industrial Training, Uganda Tourism Board are reviewing training packages to meet the increasing demands of the industry.
There are very many people who claim to be trainers, who are actually not. They're just teachers, maybe lecturers, I don't know. but they're in training institutions, the vocational training institutions, and as a government interest to make the schools in place, they're given licenses to operate. I think some of they lie.
Acting Director Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, Rosemary Kobutunji Tunomgisha says recovering the sector after COVID-19 lockdown needs rediscovering the opportunity cost of Uganda's tourism destinations over the other African nations.
We have the same products mostly on this continent, so how do we differentiate ourselves? The only way to win this market for tourists is to tell and present our story differently, and we will do this by qualified, competent tourism service handlers.
She was passing out the first form of trainers of tour guides at Fairway Hotel in Kampala. The Deputy Head of Cooperation, Luke Person, says the current bilateral relationship between Belgium and Uganda has increased Belgium's support to Uganda projects.
In partnership with the Ministry of Education and Sports, the Belgian Development Agency, ENABLE, implements this SSU program, which is aligned with government strategies like the National Development Plans, especially NDP2, as well as the Scaling Uganda Strategy and now the Tibet Policy.
Executive Director, Federation of Uganda Employers, Douglas Opio, says development of tour guides to acquire modern employable skills will increase employment opportunities.
From an employer's point, jobs will be created, opportunities will be created, because the better our guides, the more the experience of a tour, better the experience of a tourist. The better the experience of a tourist, the more tourists we will receive. The more tourists we receive, the more money, and we are all happy, isn't it? So this is an extremely good initiative.
The Deputy Director, Directorate of Industrial Training, Muchala Elizabeth Ruth, emphasized the need for quality training standards for all skills training institutions if they are to streamline the world of work.
Yeah, before we close the gap between training and the skills which are being delivered in the world of work, it is necessary to come up with a standard. And that's what the IT does. We don't just sit down and write what somebody has proposed, but we come back to you and ask you what you need.
During the commissioning of tour guides, trainers and assessors, members from private sector and tourism agencies addressed critical issues pertaining to the tourism sector. Story by Douglas Setumba for UBC News.
And on the international scene, Nigeria plans to ban flights from Argentina, Britain, Canada and Saudi Arabia from this week in retaliation for being added to those countries' red lists over the detection of the Omicron coronavirus variant last month, the aviation minister has said. Now, several countries have restricted the movement of people from some African nations since the Omicron variant was first detected in Southern Africa and Hong Kong. It has since spread to at least 57 countries.
Cumulated into its ban from entering Nigeria. The UAE is among other countries that added Nigeria to their travelers' red list over the new Omicron variant. Actions which continue to heighten the uncertainties for travelers like Chini.
I was supposed to go and buy goods that I will sell at this time because this is like peak period for my business. So that has been greatly affected.
Nigerian government had already primed its retaliation and scheduled Tuesday to begin banning flights from the UK, Canada and Saudi Arabia. But it's rescinding its decision and instead opting for diplomatic resolutions.
While each country is entitled to put in place measures to protect its citizens, Nigeria has similar responsibilities as well. However, based on existing relationships, Nigeria has initiated diplomatic steps to make these countries reverse their course. This is ongoing in the interest of all parties concerned, and we expect that positive results would emerge within the next 1 week.
Experts believe that though the West African nation has a duty to protect its sovereignty and integrity, there are no winners in a tit for tat.
When you continue to promote travel ban, you are reducing potential financial growth. I believe that Nigeria should be diplomatic, which I've seen that federal government of Nigeria is doing with the rest of the country, and also put on the table a countermeasure.
Already, the imbroglio has cost governments and businesses millions of dollars, according to Nigeria's Travel Agencies Association. For now, Nigeria says it would defer its pronouncement until December the 20th, with hopes of an amicable resolution.
Meanwhile, the U.S. death toll from COVID-19 topped 800,000 on Tuesday, a once unimaginable figure seen as doubly tragic, given that more than 200,000 of those lives were lost after the vaccine became available practically for the asking last spring. Now, the number of deaths as compiled by Johns Hopkins University is about equal to the population of many Americans who die each year from heart disease and stroke.
This is a grim milestone for the United States and its battle against COVID-19. I remember not long ago reporting on the first 100,000 deaths, and that was a big shock for the nation and hard to grasp at the time. Now multiply that by 8. The coronavirus pandemic is approaching the end of its second year, and despite a steady decline earlier this fall, we are once again seeing a surge in a number of infections and hospitalizations, especially in the Midwest, Southwest, and New England. Experts are worried the holiday period with increased travel and winter weather with more indoor gatherings could make matters worse. As of Monday, New York State began requiring people to wear masks at all indoor public spaces that do not require proof of full vaccination against the coronavirus. And New York's earlier mandate requiring healthcare workers be vaccinated against the coronavirus, even with religious objections, is still in effect after the Supreme Court refused to block it on Monday. But several other states have either stayed away from implementing any kind of mask or vaccine mandates or have faced legal challenges. This comes at a time when the worrisome Omicron variant spreads across communities, raising yet more questions than answers.
Well, and that does it for Lunchtime News. Thank you for sticking with us. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely afternoon.
Yoga beres kereli tete UBC TV ekakrero kajamila esomo keda UBC kapo a presenter do kwana ilosona lomare ainyame baga arebonate Christmas tuto